Hi, and welcome to the 3 Secrets to Calming Your Anxious Dog. My name is Tink. In this class, we'll talk about dogs that suffer from separation anxiety, destruction, and reactivity. So keep watching to discover how you can help your dog from feeling anxious and fearful. In the next 20 minutes, I'm going to show you how you and your dog can live happy and calm lives together. Here are the 3 topics to calming your anxious dog. I call them number 1, imagine what you want, or what do you want from me? Number 2, keep them informed, or the 411. And number 3, maintain a high vibration, or go Zen. My husband was having trouble with our dogs when he would take them on walks. They would be reactive to other dogs. So I asked him what he was thinking every time he saw a dog appear in the distance. He said he would tighten up and fear the approaching dog was aggressive, or that our dogs would react aggressively towards them. So I asked him if he could remain calm and not have those thoughts. I asked him to think that all the dogs would be good and calm and everything would be okay. Now, it's taken some time, but now he's able to think that all the dogs will be calm. And guess what? They don't even pay attention to the other dogs now. We even call our dog Molly the governor because she is so friendly to all the other dogs. She has to greet everyone she passes. Without realizing it, we're constantly creating images in our brain from our thoughts and words. It happens so quickly, we don't even know we're doing it. When other beings pick up on those images, that's what we call telepathy. Now, this is one way telepathy works. All creatures have their own language within their species, but telepathy is the common language between species, and dogs are masters at it. All humans are born with telepathy, but as we learn to speak, it's taught out of us. We're taught that telepathy isn't possible, so we unlearn it. But whether we're intentionally communicating with our animals or not, they are picking up our thoughts and images. My husband was sending images and feelings of being unsafe, so our dogs were reacting to some potential threat that he was fearing. When you're sending out those messages, they're thinking, there must be something for me to be fearful of, so they keep their guard up and become more reactive. When we try to train our animals, working with them is only half the equation. The other half is us, the human, and helping us to retrain our brains to give the images and thoughts of how we want our dogs to behave. It's something that needs to be worked at. It takes practice and consistency, but it doesn't necessarily need to be difficult. So, the number 1 secret to calming your anxious dog is imagine what you want, not what you don't want. For the most part, dogs just want to please us. They're constantly scanning us for clues to understand what we want from them. I think the song from Adam Lambert said it best. What do you want from me? In his lyrics, he says, just don't give up. I'm working it out. What do you want from me? And you can really help your dogs out by not confusing them with the negative images. There was a woman that had a dog that was so afraid of being left alone that the dog destroyed the woman's house every time she left. One day, while she was at work, she kept thinking, please don't tear down my new curtains. Please don't tear down my new curtains. And when she got home, her curtains were torn to shreds. What that woman was actually doing was telling her dogs to tear down the curtains because that was the image she saw in her mind. So that was the image her dog was picking up. Animals don't understand negative thoughts. They don't understand don't. They just see the image of tearing down the curtains, so they actually think you want them to tear down the curtains. So here's what I'd like you to do instead. Tell them what they can do, like play with their toys or take a nap. Show yourself celebrating, clapping, smiling, a green check mark. Celebrate in your mind, imagining them doing what you want them to do. In the case of my husband, he imagined a calm, friendly reaction to other dogs. In the case of the destructive dog, the owner learned to imagine the desired behavior and the destruction stopped. Secret number 2, keep them informed. Now, because of COVID-19 and people returning to work, I'd like to talk about separation anxiety. Many of you are going back to work and you won't be home as much as you have been. Also, many animals coming out of shelters may have separation anxiety, and it may be because they were given up. They're scared and they don't know when you're coming back or even if you're coming back. It may have happened to them before. In these cases, explain to them that you have to leave and you can't take them with you. Let them know how long you'll be gone and how many hours and when you'll be back. If you're leaving for several days, in your mind's eye, show them an image of a calendar or show them a real calendar if you like. If someone will be looking in on them, let them know. Give them a job. Let them know they can play with their toys while you're away, or their job is to lay there and relax and enjoy their day. Tell them that they're going to be okay. Tell them that you'll think about them while you're away. And again, tell them you'll be back. And here's how you can train them little by little. Number one, engage them in an activity like give them their favorite chew toy. Then explain to them that you have to leave and that you can't take them with you. Let them know you'll be gone for, say, 10 minutes. Leave calmly. No sneaking out. If you have a remote camera, monitor their response for anxiety. If you don't have a camera, just leave for short periods of time at first. Return before they get stressed. When you come back, calmly greet them and praise them for doing a good job at remaining calm. Repeat this, increasing the distance and duration. Again, I'd like you to be aware of the images you're making for your animal. Are you thinking of the fear of them not being okay while you're gone? Are you creating scary images? They may start thinking, do I have a reason to worry? I'm not going to be okay. Here's what I want you to think. I have to leave, but you're going to be okay. I'll be back at 5 p.m. And when I say think about them while you're away, really think about them. Take a moment to imagine them at home, send them a heart pump and love, and tell them you're fine and I'll be back in 2 hours. They will feel it. Again, don't speak in negatives. Animals don't speak in negatives. Instead of saying, oh my God, I'm so worried. Are you going to be okay? Say, you're safe. You're going to be fine. I love you. The images you see in your mind are what they'll see. Communicate. That's the 411. And finally, secret number 3, maintain a high vibration. If you take only one thing away from this talk, please take this. The most important thing you can do for your dog and yourself is to learn to be in the moment, right here, right now. Not that second that just went by, right here, right now. This will increase your heart coherence. And I believe this is the simplest way to do it. It's called the quick coherence technique taught by HeartMath. So let's try. First, focus your attention in the area of your heart. Imagine that your breath is flowing in and out of your heart or chest area, breathing just a little slower and deeper than usual. Maybe to a count of, say, 5 in and 5 out, but find a smooth, easy rhythm. If you feel comfortable, go ahead and close your eyes. Breathe in for 5 counts and out for 5 counts, or whatever's comfortable for you. And continue to do that. Remember to relax your belly because we tend to keep our tummies clenched. Now continue this heart-focused breathing and make a sincere attempt to experience a regenerative feeling like appreciation or care for something in your life. Could be your dog, a time in nature, a special place, an accomplishment, anything. Feel that genuine feeling of love you have for someone or something, or just focus on a feeling of calm and ease as you continue the heart-focused breathing. Now, let's just do this for a few more seconds. Great. Now go ahead and open your eyes. This quick coherence technique is putting your heart rhythms into a more coherent mode, a more coherent rhythm. If you can imagine a line on a graph or an electrocardiogram that's going up and down, but kind of jiggity, like the one on the top here, that's your heart under stress or anxiety. Now imagine a smooth sine wave up and down. That's the lower wavy line. That is your heart in coherence. And that is your parasympathetic nervous system working. And this is where calm clarity happens. And it has a carryover effect. So as you put the leash on your dog and walk out the door, you can feel more connected, more centered, and your vibration is higher. You can do this simple 1-minute technique anytime, anywhere. So please remember to use it for yourself and your dog in any situation. And here I want to mention something about high vibration and low vibration emotions. Esther and Jerry Hicks came up with the emotional guidance scale. You can find it in their book, Ask and It Is Given. One of the lowest vibrational energies is anger. Frustration is also a low vibration energy. You need a high vibration energy to be most helpful to your dog. Joy, empowerment, love, and freedom are the highest vibrational energies. Enthusiasm, eagerness, and happiness are also very high on the scale. When you first think about taking your dog for a walk, are you thinking, oh no, here we go again. This is going to be a struggle. He's going to be pulling me. Or are you picturing in your mind a nice leisurely walk? If you're already feeling angry, frustrated, fearful, again, you're giving that vibe to your dog. This is a real thing. I'm not making this up. I want you to calm your mind and have the highest vibrational emotions you can before you even put that leash on your dog. The higher your emotional state when you go to walk your dog, the more pleasant your walk will be. And remember to send your dog images of a nice, calm walk. So remember, let them know what you want, not what you don't want. Keep them informed. They'll understand and appreciate it. And 3, maintain a high vibration as much as possible. You and your dog will notice a difference. Now, training may help with the undesired behavior, or your dog may have a stress reaction from a previous incident, creating the fear and anxiety. And that is something different. They may have a traumatic experience from their past that triggers a fear response, causing the anxiety. This is something I can help clear. And that's the work that I do. I've helped dogs with issues of fear, anxiety, and excessive barking using a method called REST. That's 2 R's, rapid reprogramming of emotional stress technique. I use this along with other methods of energy work, including Reiki and healing touch for animals and essential oils. Reiki and HTA are energy field therapies that support the body to heal itself. The work is done in a series of sessions. The first session is a healing touch session. And in this session, I work to unblock and clear your dog's body's energy systems. This will help raise their vibration and receptivity to the work. The session generally lasts about an hour and a half, and I text you before I begin and then after I'm complete. I'll give you a summary of what I found and what I've accomplished during the session. You don't need to be present or available during the session. And it does help if your dog is in a calm state and not engaged in other activities like playing or training. The succeeding sessions are rest sessions. All of these sessions are done via Zoom. Rest rids the dog and their human from trapped emotions that trigger undesired reactions. The first thing that happens during the first rest session is I found out about your dog's history. It's helpful for me to know how old he is, how you got him, and other specifics about their past. Next, we talk about the behavioral issues you want help with and what your desired outcome is. How will you know when we've solved the problem? Then we find and eliminate blocks around those behaviors using rest. And finally, we find any triggers and trapped emotions you may have around the issue and release those from you. Those steps happen in every succeeding session. And now I'd like to introduce you to a few of my clients. Here's what Halo's humans had to say about their experience. Halo had an upbringing unlike many dogs. She served with soldiers in very austere conditions in Afghanistan. Upon moving to the States, she encountered a few surprise attacks from other dogs. This changed Halo's trust in dogs. She shifted from being confident to being defensive and reactive around most dogs, even the little ones. Because Halo lived in a high-rise, she often encounters dogs every time she has to go outside. Many of the dogs, especially the little ones, would bark excessively at her, and she would respond in kind. Since working with Tink, she now ignores all the dogs and reacts with confidence or indifference. Even the staff and security guards in the building have witnessed the big change in Halo and often compliment her on her ability to disregard the other dogs. It's been years since Halo's first rest session, and she continues to be unreactive to other dogs. While working with Halo, I found out she was traumatized by some of the soldiers in Afghanistan. I'll spare you the details, but some of the trapped emotions we released include feeling unsafe, deserted, and having low self-esteem. After several sessions, she started to relax around other dogs. I also found related emotions that were carried by her human that we also released. Halo and her humans are much more calm and relaxed now when they're out for a walk. Next, I'd like to introduce you to Merlin. Here's what her human had to say. We hired Tink to work with our highly anxious and reactive dog. Before we called her, we were nervous to have people over to the house or take him out because he was so reactive. He even bit a friend once. Luckily, he didn't break the skin. He had several years of intensive training, including 8 weeks of boot camp boarding school, which allowed us to control him better, but he was still reactive. He also had suddenly stopped going into his crate easily and would bark and whine during the night at times. He seemed to have anxiety. Tink worked with him for several sessions until eventually he started to calm down. Now he gets into his crate again with no problem. He doesn't bark or whine anymore at night. And we are so much more comfortable having people at the house because he ignores them and is calm. He's even willing to make friends with some of them. Working with aggressive dogs takes longer than working with fearful dogs. Remember the emotional scale chart? On the emotional scale, there are a lot of emotions between calm and aggressive. You don't go from calm to aggressive overnight, and you can't go from aggressive to calm overnight. It can be much like peeling away the layers of an onion. And finally, meet Bella. And here's her story. My daughter told me of a coach who was a pet therapist. I had never heard of that before, but since I had an issue with my Shih Tzu, Bella, I asked for her phone number. After a few minutes on the phone, I felt very comfortable with Tink and her energy, so I asked if she'd work on this issue over the phone. About 3 weeks ago, my nice, calm dog started a new habit. Around 6 o'clock in the evening, when I would sit down with my dinner in front of the TV, she would start barking incessantly. She wouldn't stop until she wore herself out. She'd fall asleep for a while and then wake up and start barking all over again. This pattern would go on for about 3 hours and drive me nuts. Tink resolved this issue for me in one session over the phone. Of course, our calls were in the early afternoon, so the proof was in the pudding would be about 6 p.m. Amazing. No barking. She slept and woke up calmly and slept most of the evening. No barking. The silence was so beautiful that I actually kept saying to myself, it's miraculous. I know those words sound strong, but it's really true. I said it to myself a few times that night. It was such a nice, quiet evening. Last night was night 2, and it was also a quiet evening with Bella acting like her old self. I don't know what started this issue a few weeks back, but I don't care. Tink solved the problem, and believe me, I'm saving her phone number for the future. Bella's behavior was interesting because her human had no idea what caused it. It seemed to have started for no reason. During the interview process, I asked her about any changes that Bella had experienced around the time of the behavior change. And that's when I hit upon the issue. Her human had put her on a special diet because of a medical issue and stopped giving her treats. Voila, We found the issue, and I was able to clear the trapped emotions causing her reaction. Thank you for watching this workshop. If you try these things I've suggested and it still doesn't help, give me a call. If you think you and your pet can benefit from releasing some trapped emotions, for a limited time, I'm offering a 5-session package for a 40% discount. That's a $1,200 value for $697. The package includes a complimentary 20-minute discovery session. I look forward to meeting you and your furry companion and helping you both live a calm and happy life.